Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Evo SR TV for another round of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series here on iRacing. You're joined by myself, James Salt, and Tom McMahon in the commentary box alongside me. Tom, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you, Mr. Salt. Very well. Looking forward to some traditional racing around the historic Silverstone layout tonight. And we got our regulars in. We've got some big hitters in. Great strength of fields of 4.1 for the GT4s and 3.8k for the TCR. So I am optimistic of a cracking race.
Have you raced here yet, Tom, this week, or you're not going to bother with the Nürburgring
No,
coming up this weekend?
For the 24-hour, so I will not be stepping into the GT4. But I've tuned into a couple of races, got the kind of the lay of the land, seen that the kind of standard 3-second time difference between classes is still going as they are heading round to complete their first laps. Except Thomas Petitjean, who we are watching, just heat his tyres up on his first flying lap, so it's going to be a one lap shootout for him.
We've been watching Thomas just on these out laps, and like you said, he's going round for his quick second lap now, but we saw him jumping on the brakes, trying to put heat in the front tyres, not so much in the rears, because obviously rear-wheel drive car tyres will be hotter than the front, but some interesting stuff that we see on this new tyre model, and something that, well, I'm not one of these that does go out. I'll just go out and get the laps done and see where they fall in, but you do see some interesting tyre warming techniques.
I'm the same with you. I haven't mastered it, don't know how to do it.
It's a lot of work, isn't it? We've seen, I mean, to be fair to Petitjean, he's out at the front a lot of these races that we've been watching. Certainly the last one we saw, he kind of dominated that one as Suzuka. But yeah, it's working for him. He's where is he at the moment? He's not necessarily set a lap time, but we'll see what he does. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on pole. We'll see what he can do though. He's where is he on the track? It's like you said earlier, it's the older layout of Silverstone, the free version on iRacing, and his track map for me has frozen, I believe. Let's have a look.
We were having a little bit of the software keeps freezing, so I'll keep on it.
Yeah,
and we'll
it's frozen for me.
It's I've got a screen freeze as well on the qualifying standings, but I'll persevere. So
cool.
The cameras are working, so that's the main thing.
Indeed, they are. And we've got a few regulars. I think we mentioned at the start, we've got Aurelian in the Porsche. We've got Christian Novak as well, that we're speaking to about a team for Evo SR this weekend at the Nürburgring 24-hour. We've got Daniel Muth. We've got Petitjean goes P1 temporarily. We've not much left. A couple of minutes left. It might be that he actually holds on to that. In the TCRs, we've got... what have we got? Damien Owen Harris will be sporting the Evo SR livery, thankfully. We've got John Brown. We've got Marius Rommelfenger is also a name that I recognise. We've got a couple of minutes left, 1 minute 20 left. There we go. It looks like we've got the overlay back now, Tom.
Yeah,
is it working for you?
The timer is ticking down on qualifying. That's how I knew we were having an issue. But I think, fingers crossed, we're set for the race. So qualifying has kind of passed us by. But
we'll need to remove the logo at the top right. That looks horrific.
Give me 2 seconds, please, viewers. Apologies for the.
I wonder if we'll get the. I wonder if we'll have the luxury of having a look at some of the incidents at the end of the race. Whether SDK Gaming will allow us to do that this week. Probably not the way it's been going over the last couple of weeks, but last 3 or 4 weeks actually. But this should be a good race. It's a track much more familiar to a lot of people. It's got some great sections, some long straights. Should be some really good overtaking manoeuvres as well, or opportunities to watch. Certainly end of the hanger straight into the right-hander. Yeah, and then you've obviously got the Beckett section is always interesting. Tom, you mentioned that the cars are about 3 seconds difference around here. Hopefully, the leader of the TCRs, currently Ross Balfour, will give them a good gap. But
Ross has actually out-qualified the slowest GT4, which, yeah,
So
so
yes.
we would encourage a big gap to be given.
There we go. And I think it's a short formation lap. I think it's towards the end of the lap.
Sadly, I think you might be mistaking the new
I'm thinking.
Silverstone.
I am. I did that. I did an IMSA race yesterday, and yeah, you're right. That is nearer the end. Is this a full form? This must be a long one.
Yeah, this is full. We go on a blimp cam. Yep, gridding up onto the start finish curve as it is.
Oh, are we on blimp cam? I'm seeing scenic. Is that not what we're supposed to be seeing?
As in,
hang on a minute.
I was going to say I can see cars.
I cannot see cars, unfortunately. Why is that then? Oh, it says I'm disconnected, apparently. Let me load this back up.
So as I say, we've still got time, but
hopefully we don't miss a start.
A quick run through of the grid for you, ladies and gents.
There we go. Right,
we're
I
back.
had to also restart SDK. Do we still have? Yeah. So yeah, there we go. We've got the start, the formation, the grid.
Perfect.
Sorry, we've got Petitjean, P1. We've got Emmanuel Petri, P2. Sasha Gourlay in P3. Let's keep an eye on Sasha as well. Prone to mistakes, but hopefully not this time. Camillo Pezzoli in 4th position. Felipe Baptista and Lucas Müller take the 3rd row of the grid. Daniel Muth and Sandoval in 7th and 8th. Orlando Rodriguez and Matthias Ferroni in 9 and 10. We've got Aurelian Fargo as well down in 11th. Ross Balfour, P1. Alongside him is Ollie Peacock, Leo Miranda in 3rd, Dickon Whitewood in 4th position, Marcus Eichhorn and Christopher Zoikling in 5th and 6th. Rafa Bordoy and Sandro Pezzioli take 7 and 8, and then Damien Harris, 1.3 off the pace. I think he'll be looking to make a few positions up. He's in 9th, and Fasu Chapa in 10th position. As the guys set off for their formation, their full formation lap.
And let's just have a look. They've left a fairly sizable gap, and they can obviously increase that as the lap goes on. But you can imagine the TCRs and the GT4s will be, yeah, you can see them weaving around, trying to get temperature into the tyres. Emmanuel's trying to overtake the pace car. He's keen to get on with it.
Just talking about Damien, Tom,
yes.
We saw he took the win at Sonoma.
Oh, what a great
few
race
weeks
that
ago.
was.
It was. He's down in 9th or 10th at the moment. Do you think he'd be happy with that? I mean, he's a guy that certainly gets a lot out with this car, but it's a very strong strength of field. So
he's a competitive soul. So I don't think he will be happy qualifying 10th, or maybe 9th or 10th on the grid. But we know he can race. He has put in a good amount of time, as we know, into the car. Very comfortable, very happy in it. So maybe he picked up an off track on his 2nd lap, so it didn't improve. So maybe that was on cold tyres. No, I would expect to see him moving forward. As the race progresses, we'll keep an eye out. Obviously, the start is a really good opportunity. Out onto the hangar straight that the TCRs are crawling their way onto now to get a good bit of draft. So, no, expect to see Damien move forward.
it's always a car, the TCR, that allows the guys to run really close. We've seen that throughout the whole series so far this year or this season. The Porsches, they've been, I don't know, they've been a bit hit or miss. We've seen some fantastic racing, but I don't think we've seen it as consistently as we have from the TCR. But it's a new car.
Yeah, and it's not a very forgiving car, especially on those cold tyres. We've seen a lot of incidents. I mean, we didn't even get to turn 1 last week before we saw the absolute carnage break loose. But I seem to recall there are always a lot of incidents in the Porsches, so it's almost be patient, pick your way through the first couple of laps, get the tyres into the zone, and then you'll move forward naturally. Which easier said than done when there's 17 cars around you and you're trying to desperately fight for every position in a 4,000 strength of field. But lessons could be learnt from previous weeks, I feel, and we're actually near the end of the lap.
So it was Emmanuel. It wasn't this Emmanuel, was it, that challenged Petitjean last time round,
No,
or a few weeks ago?
A new challenger arises.
Yeah. Well, let's see what that challenge looks like. We've got Sacha Golay directly behind Petitjean, who's a little bit out in front. Emmanuel is at the moment. All right, so Petitjean leads the way for this 7th week of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge on iRacing as they head down the start-finish straight into the Copse corner, the right-hander. Will we see any contacts? So far, so good. Top few cars are through nicely. A couple of cars getting a little bit on edge as we watch the TCRs there underway as well. They are, I was going to say, where are they on track? They're just coming out of the last corner, now heading over the start-finish line. Bit of a break for Ross Balfour and Ollie Peacock. I think Leo got caught sleeping then, although we're looking 2 by 2 behind. 3 abreast actually going into Copse. And it sounds like there was contact, and that's going to all but end someone's race. I'm not sure who that was going off at Copse corner.
And already, Damien's on his way up through the field. And that's not great driving there. A little bit of contact, a bit of argy-bargy, but hopefully they can all carry on. Moving back to the GT4s. Top 4 making a little bit of a breakaway. And then it's a right old pack behind them. Aurelian has moved up 3 places already, so maybe he didn't get a great qualifying because he's looking to get on with it.
It's certainly challenging here, but he's on the outside, so it might not be a move that he can get done this time. But can he hang it around the outside? He's now got the inside line. His slot is back in. We didn't lose anyone, thankfully, as they go under bridge into this kind of arena section of the old layout of the Silverstone track. We've not seen any casualties, I don't think, Tom.
No,
that first lap not in the
GT4s.
Yeah.
TCRs have been a bit of elbows out, shoulder banging. Petitjean's going to lead them across the line at the end of lap 1.
And only half a second gap. I mean, we saw this last time. I think it took him 2 or 3 laps to get comfortable and then started to pull away that much more. Ross Balfour under pressure from Ollie Peacock, 2nd position. As they come to the towards the end of the first lap, Petitjean setting a purple lap time, quickest out there. And that's contact from behind, and that's sent Damien.
Still in it.
He's not gone all the way around. Managed to catch that, and he's not lost the pack, so he can settle back in and hopefully continue as he left off, making places up. Does that put him back down to 9th where he started, or is he lower than that?
Yes,
I think he's in 9th. There you go.
Yeah. So, as I said, the top 4 just making a little break for it. Lucas Muller, the 18 car, way outperforming. I've raced Lucas a couple of times in these cars. Quick, does some real-life racing, I believe, so maybe he's got some more time on his hands and is looking to get comfortable in the GT4 and iRacing. Looking back through the pack, we have Sander all over the back of Felipe.
And that gap's still out front with Thomas Petitjean. Still less than half a second. Slightly more time behind Emmanuel in 2nd to Sacha Golay, about a 2nd gap. And then here we go, side by side under the bridge. And this should give, that's a incredibly bright looking, sparkling, yeah, full chrome livery.
That's wide. He's going to lose a position. I'd imagine it's Severin. Oof, dearie me. He's been mugged for 3 spots.
He wanted that place back, but that wasn't the way to do it, was it? And luckily we didn't see any contact there. By the skin of their teeth, they got through. Look at Petitjean under so much pressure now. We've not seen this, especially early on in a race. He's usually cool-headed, and I mean, to be fair, he's still the car out in front, but he's under serious pressure here. And I don't... Have we seen him? I mean, these two are extremely close on iRating, 6,600. Well, there's 30 iRating between them. Clearly quick guys, and Sasha Gourlay also 6,630. They're all almost identical, but it's Camilo Pezzoli in 4th position. Technically, is the stronger iRated driver. This is
are Camilo and Emmanuel.
They are indeed.
Same liveries.
So this is Sasha Gourlay under some proper pressure now. We've seen Sasha is very quick, but we've seen some mistakes in the last 2 or 3 races. And Suzuka, he got it wrong in 130R and really smacked into the tyres, didn't he? But yeah, this is it was great battling for what is 2nd and 1st position. Oh, sorry, 3rd and 1st. And back to the TCRs. They're battling for 1st position as well. Ollie Peacock and Ross Balfour. This is good stuff. We've got battles all over the track. And more importantly, they're for the lead positions.
Yeah, there's a huge gap that's opened up, and look at this pack between back to 5th. There's a 5-second gap between 4th and 5th, and then it's this gaggle of cars with Damien getting right in amongst it, probably fueled on a little bit of adrenaline now after that contact, and he's going to send it up inside. Is that Abbey? I believe that's Abbey chicane, isn't it? Could be more contact here.
That looked like a bit of netcode then as well, but he's survived once again. I think that's the third time he's had that contact or similar contact, but he's managed to keep it pointing the right way, and he's not lost the pack, and that's having a look down the inside indeed, and that's touring car driving if you've ever seen it.
Back to the front of the pack. Here we go again onto the hangar straight. On board, is the straight long enough? I don't think it's going to be.
It's lifted a bit. Not this time.
I mean, we have seen Thomas be pressured, but I can't recall. This is commentator's curse sort of disclosure coming up. I haven't seen him make many mistakes. We had the incident at Sonoma where he got involved with a TCR, and he had his one mistake at Laguna Seca in the first week.
Yeah, which can be forgiven.
Yeah, where he was 12 seconds ahead and he still won the race.
Yeah.
Other than that, if we flick back to Camilo pressurising for the podium, he's so consistent. So it'll be interesting if Emmanuel can stay with him throughout the race, final 10 minutes of the race. It'll be interesting to see. Just a quick note to the viewers, software is being a little bit funny. Ignore the lap timer counter in the top left of your screen. 7 minutes have gone, not 47 minutes.
Oh wow, yeah, I've not been seeing that myself, to be honest.
We'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, that's strange. I think it did similar yesterday. I was watching the 2-hour Nürburgring race Apex Racing TV were doing. But yeah, we were saying Thomas Petitjean not really been under so much pressure. He's been under pressure before. He's the second quickest this time round. Looks like Emmanuel was able to get 2 some in that time round. But this is a good battle as well for what is effective. What position are we scrapping for here? About 8th position, 7th, something like that?
Yes, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th and 6th are all in your screenshot right now. And then, again, we've got to try to keep up with it all. The TCRs are still battling away.
Damien's very much in the mix as well. He's having an interesting race. I'm going to say a great race, but I mean, contact's fine in these TCRs to some degree, but probably not as much as he's had so far.
And here's
Cop's corner.
The top two.
Yeah.
Ross
cannot
break the toe. Ollie Peacock looking very racy. We then got Leo and Marcus in striking distance, and then Dick on Whitewood has. And there's a car going way off, and I don't know if it's going to be a slowdown as well. They've lost touch. They are 6 seconds adrift of the top 4. Probably about 9 seconds.
Yeah.
So we'll keep an eye on all the battling. But I mean, Daniel Muth, a regular of the Michelin pilot series that we've been doing this season. 9th place. On to lose a little bit of iRacing, but looking to make a move into bridge. That's not really
big
on.
mover, Tom. Aurelian. He's up in 6th.
He must have had an off track then. I think he
Aurelian has gained 5 positions so far.
So potentially an off track on his second lap where we know the time is quickest due to the tyre warm-ups, and if you get an off track then that will have really hampered him. So judging by that.
So it's Aurelian at the front of this pack with the same livery as Sasha Gourlay, who's in 3rd position. Sasha Gourlay 3.1 off the front 2 now, but he's got Camillo Pezzoli in 4th, pushing him around the track effectively.
Aurelian has just put in a 55.3, which that puts him 3rd quickest that time round.
Got a spin up.
Felipe has gone, yes, Felipe Baptista.
That's Cop's corner.
Just
Did he get too much curb on the inside, or he's ran wide?
Oh, he touched the Astro on the left. He just went a tiny bit wide. And that is pretty much race ruined for Felipe. He's down into 13th. Amazingly, the car looks not too bad. Here we go.
This track's lending its hand though, isn't it? It's allowing the guys to bunch back up the longer straights. So
it's a great layout.
Yeah.
And just a nice change. I love the new Silverstone layout. I'm a big fan of them both. It's just nice to... And here's another little gaggle that I thought would be nice for everyone to tune into. Severin, we saw him lose all of these 3 positions. He's now trying to gain them back. Round the outside, I don't think that's going to work. It's a little bit too long radius corner. I'm sure this is Abby, but please correct me in the comments. We do have someone off up ahead.
Are they waiting patiently? Looks like they are. Good for them. And look at these guys. This is great stuff.
We've then got still the... Will Severin be able to make a move? No! Nearly.
Contact, or...
I think managed to just avoid it. The top 2 in the GT4s into the 54s. So brilliant pace. Lucas Muller with a 55.0. So there's pace all through this GT4 field. Flicking back to the TCRs. Ollie Peacock still glued to Ross's rear end. Damien still looking to make his way through the field up to 8th. Can't quite make the move.
But he's having a good race. He's gained 1 position.
He'll be having a fun race.
Having a lot of fun out there.
That's for sure. And we're going to into Brooklands. There might be contact. Keep it clean, guys. On the power, who's going to now drag race up towards Cops?
It's Damien on the inside of this slight curved start-finish. And he'll now have the inside for Cops' corner. And that looks like there's been a bit of argy-bargy there. Going into Cops now. Damien later on the brakes. And then slightly wide.
Done. You'd think being able to hold it towards Maggots and Beckett's. And he does. So up to 7th moves Damien for Evo SR. This is close.
Yeah, this is. We don't see it much closer than this. Not with Petitjean. He's usually out front, but Emmanuel Petri. He's been here the whole race. I mean, just looking at the timer at the top left, 713 minutes isn't right.
That's got a mind of its own. We're approaching half distance, 13 minutes gone in the race. And these two are, well, I don't know if Sasha's made another mistake, but Lucas Muller is right on the back. And now we've got a 3-way fight for the podium.
For the podium. Into Cop's corner.
55.9, so nearly a second slower. 9/10 slower than Mr. Petitjean out front, but it was Emmanuel with the fastest lap of the race, over 54.9 last time around. Camilo wants to get on with this now.
It'll be interesting to see Sasha, because again we've seen him make mistakes, but he's halfway through this race, so far so good for him.
This seems closer.
Yeah, I do wonder if we'll... He's lifting.
Lift. Yeah.
The gap actually opened up then. I don't think that was a lift from Camilo.
No, it was
pushing Sasha around.
Audible lift though, so clearly happy to just sit in the toe and wait. Are we going to have a move here? That was definite look. Get it slowed down. And that's the thing, if you do go for one of these late lunges, if you hit the ABS though, the problem is the car just doesn't turn in these GT4s. So it's a really tricky car to make those moves. And Lucas Miller is probably going to make me eat my words. Nope. No. He
pulled back. He slotted back in for another opportunity later down the line potentially.
I mean, because looking at the lap times, Aurelian in 6th, who's been the biggest mover so far, he was 0.6 quicker than his teammate, Sasha Gourlay in 3rd. So don't count out him to catch up. And he's dragging 7th, 8th and 9th all along. So
yeah, they're not that far ahead, actually. Oh, you're right. You can see them very much in view.
Keep an eye on the lap times this time round. And we'll see if that was just a one-off, a little mistake, or whether it's a bit more reflective of the pace. So as we come across the line, Gourlay's lap time was 55.3. That is much more on the pace. So it was a mistake last time.
Aurelian again though, slightly quicker Aurelian from the guys in front of him.
And it's the as you were. No, it's not.
That's a move.
It was an attempted move. Couldn't quite make it stick for Ollie Peacock, so Ross holding firm. But this is good racing, and Ollie's making Ross probably place the car where he doesn't quite want it, hugging the tight line.
Interesting to have a look at the lap times, because again, P3 and P4, Marcus Eichhorn in 4th, they're not that far behind.
No, not at all.
So we've got 58s and 50. Okay, so slightly slower. But it'll only take one bit of contacts, and then suddenly you've got P3 and P4 all over the back of the front too. And then further back, Damien in 6th now. So he's gained 3 positions from where he started. And he looks to be losing Tapia in 7th. It'll be interesting to see whether he can gain to potentially get a top 5 position. Take that away from Whitewood in 5th already. Sasha Gourlay leading 3 cars. He's currently in 3rd is Sasha. We've got Pezzoli directly behind him, where he's been for the most of the race so far. I think all of the race. But Sasha's doing a good job so far. Not seen any mistakes. Touch wood. We don't want to see any from him. I think it'll be a good, solid 3rd position for him. He's still 6,600 iRacing, so he's not losing it week on week. He's not exactly, losing any. If anything, I think he's still gaining. 54.9 for Petitjean, the only guy in the 54s at this point.
I mean, the lap times. Sander van der Vel was just put in a 55.0. So all through the field, the pace is really, really strong.
Everyone in the top 10, more or less, in the 55s. There's only Petitjean in the 54s. It was a high 54 mine, but 54 nonetheless. Sander van der Vel, P7. This is the battle for the leaders, Ollie Peacock and Ross Balfour. It's been them two from the start, as we've got about 12 minutes left. So still plenty of time in this one for some positions to be changed. Max Icon in 4th.
Speaking to some drivers who have done the TCR this week, tyre wear is an issue, as Ross is off in the distance, going really wide at Cops. Tyre wear is a bit of an issue. They do seem to drop off. Those fronts just get scrubbed all through these corners. And if you sort of abuse them too early in the race, it does come back to bite you, I've heard. So it's something to look out for, that if people start losing pace, that could be a reason why. Camilla was right up behind, and Lucas is looking very racy.
Yeah, I feel we've not mentioned Lucas as much He's a guy that's very much in there. He's at the back of the 3, but he's waiting patiently, and he's certainly not slow either. He's managing to stay on these guys in front. Been interesting final 10 minutes of this race. We've often seen that
shaping up really nicely.
Yeah, we've seen the, I don't know, the races often get to the kind of last 5 minutes or so, and we see a lot of opportunity present itself. Drivers sending it where they might not have done for the previous.
Sasha's way off. No, that was Aurelian.
That was Aurelian, yeah.
But I did see Sasha again though at 56.1, so over a second slower, and that is because on the replay, Camillo went for it into the chicane and they went side by side, but Sasha was able to hang on.
That's good defensive driving, actually. It's good from him.
So that's where that little bit of time loss came, and that's brought Aurelian under 2 seconds from the pack. And
I mean, look at the leaders, 0.1. We're slightly open now, but
this is close again. There is so many cars are so close together. This is fantastic stuff.
It is indeed. Ollie Peacock and Ross Balfour, we've seen them for the longevity of this race from the start to where they're at now. We can't separate these two, and it looks like now we're in these sort of closing with the last 10 minutes now, and it's where we normally would see some of the guys, you know, have a look, have a send, see if they can make something of it.
And then behind, they've not exactly lost touch. I mean, 2 seconds back, it's not the biggest gap in the world. So if they start battling, that will soon. Daniel Muth is having a cracking, just seeing on our timing screens going side by side with Orlando. There's going to be a little bit of contact. No, they keep it clean. Drag
Daniel
race up to Cops again.
Should get a good exit. But he's now on the outside. Will he be able to hold it or hold it around the outside? It's not really ideal. He's not done that. He's let the position go, but he's actually got a much better run. And now Daniel will have the. He's got the front. He's got the lead of these two. So.
Back to the fight for P3, and this is all getting a lot more serious now. 8 minutes to go. You got to start making your move. We can't be too patient now. Camillo, get it slowed down. Just confident on the brakes if you can get this turned. Kiss the apex of Stowe.
This is close. You cannot get closer. You're pushing him around. We're having a look now down the inside. This is where we saw Sasha already defend the position pretty well, and he's done it again. And it's another job well done for him.
Well, that was a different...
Oh, no, it was, yes. So
it was this one that has already defended.
Will he go to the inside again? He has done. And can he get the deal? He can't get it done this time either. It looks like Sasha Gourlay again.
Here comes Lucas.
Touch there. Lucas now has got the inside line underneath the bridge. 3 abreast.
Oh, and that's Camillo round. That is,
it is.
Camillo up into 3rd. Cracking racing.
Lucas got out of there. I don't think he wanted a part of that 3 wide under there. Sensible driving from him.
And here is Aurelian and Sander have joined the fight. So Camillo break away?
I wonder now if we'll see Sasha Gourlay, whether he'll be able to just catch and repass for that 3rd position.
It's already got a little bit of a gap, not huge, I know, but
yeah, and especially with the hangar straight coming as well, it's usually an opportunity to bunch the cars back up. But I wonder now if Lucas as well, having seen Pizzoli get through, whether he'll want to have an opportunity and have a look as well.
And we've also got, so I'm going to have to flick back. Oh, have we got P3? That is Leo.
Is that all in it on his own? Surely not. Oh no, it was.
No, we're going to have a bit of.
So he's got the inside line on the defense.
They're going to run side by side. And this is Marcus was in P4. and he's probably going to get a better run. Leo, the orange car, the number 23 car, has let Marcus go down the inside. Oh, into the braking zone.
Al got a little bit scruffy, did that.
Back to the, quite frankly, epic battle at the for the podium. Oh, we've had a change for the lead.
We have indeed. Wonder where that was done. Probably.
Here it is. It's down into Stowe. So Emmanuel has made the move. So maybe a small mistake coming onto the hangar straight and replicating Mansell versus Piquet all those years ago.
Well, we saw Petri lifting, didn't we? So I think he's had an opportunity before, but because we are now about 5 minutes to go as they cross the line, we've got 5 minutes to go now. Whether it was just biding his time, whether that was the time he wanted to do it, and whether it was just all in the plan. Let's see if he can keep hold of that, because Petitjean, we know he's quick. But we've not seen him.
3 laps to go, I make it.
We've not seen Petitjean, have we, have to race like this. He's usually out front. I don't think he's had this challenge before. So Damien's got into 5th position.
Up to 5th and closing on Dickon.
That was because we saw Leo Miranda off the track, didn't we? So these guys have inherited that position from him. Miranda now down in 6th position. Look at these guys as they are going, I believe, onto the hangar straight. Is that? Yeah, it is. And will we see Sasha Gorley? Does he want that position back? We've got Pizzoli going a bit defensive. And we've got Lucas Muller as well having a look, and it looked like Sasha Gorley's car was getting a little bit away from him then. But I do not know where this... Oh, Sasha's gone deep, has gone heavy on the brakes. It's on the inside now. We're going to see contact. We're not going to see contact.
Oh, take a bow, Lucas Muller. If you can pull this off, that is round the outside. You've now got the inside for the first part of the chicane. Gorley's probably going to try and hang this round.
Yeah, because we've seen him defend it around the outside, and now he's got the inside for the second part of this. He's touched, and they're both damaged. He did not want to let that position go. He's done that before, but this time it didn't work out.
Have a look. I've got Ross Balfour off the track. Let's have a look. Is it just... It is just blinking, I think. Or no, he's been turned.
He has been turned.
As
they come now onto hangar straight, he's been turned, and that's put him back into 3rd position.
Yeah.
Damien Harris less than a second behind for 4th position, so he's certainly closed the gap on Dickon Whitwood. Well, you've got to say at this point,
just put a 54.5 in to get the gap to Petitjean to 1.3 seconds.
Petitjean must have made a mistake to get a 1.4 second gap.
And it was a 55.3 his last lap, so it wasn't slow. I mean, it wasn't up there, but that is a searingly quick time.
That is quick. Yeah, that is. Maybe it's just his outright pace then.
Well, as you said, we saw him lifting on the straight, so maybe it was a case of I'm going to save my tyres a bit. I'm going to just sit here. We're faster than the rest of the guys, and then almost when I want to, I'm going to pull the pin, and maybe that is what's going on. Aurelian having a cracking race. He's had some of the worst luck through the series that we've covered. He's been off the track more times than I can remember through many races, but he's having an absolutely barnstorming race. He's up to 5th, he's up 6 places, he's chasing down his higher rated teammate, and quite frankly looks the quicker driver.
He does, but I think Sasha did pick up a little bit of damage when we saw that challenge with Lucas Muller. And it was a front end damage just over, I think, his left wheel arch. But yeah, this is going to be interesting. We've not seen these two teammates battling before. Sasha's been in the wars the last lap around. And like you said, Aurelian is having a cracking race. So far, so good. Under 5 minutes left to go. Under 2 minutes left to go, in fact.
I think I'll make that white flag then, based off that.
He's having a look down the inside, was Aurelian then, I believe. I think Petri's got enough in the bag to seal the win with this one. I mean, Petitjean's done a fantastic lap, but Emmanuel was better.
Yeah, yeah, just
Put it simply.
outright pace at the back end of the race when it really matters. It seems like Petri has got Mr. Petitjean's number, which we have not said all season long. We've got, obviously, this battle for P4 coming onto the hangar strip. We've also got Damien, keeping an eye on our Evo driver, has caught up to the back of Dickon for P4. Damien up 4 places, 6 overall. We must have had 2 GT4s drop out. But back to the hangar straight.
Sasha Gole in 4th. Aurelian Fargo in 5th. It's funny, Aurelian was quite a bit behind then, going onto the hangar straight. Now he's punched back up. Well, he's certainly giving the right signs that he wants the position, as Sasha Gole goes a little bit deep.
And there's Sander. This is all for the last lap.
This is the opportunity. This is a...
And leaving the door slightly open.
He wants to force Sasha into a mistake. Sasha does go a bit deep there, but Oh, look at Sander van der Vel. He's right in there, and so is Lucas. Lucas is back.
Aurelian round the outside of Bridge has done it. And that's going to put Sander up the inside.
You're right, he's opened the door to Sander. And Lucas is in there as well, but they are coming to the end of this lap. We know Petri's taken the win from Petitjean, but that looked like a bit of contact then, and it looks like the 2 teammates, Aurelian Fargo and Sasha Gole, are going to take what is, I believe, 4th and 5th position. It is. But yeah, fantastic race from Petri. He just sat there for the time that he needed to, and then got the pass done in the closing stages of the race. Damien Owen Harris is pushing. Oh, we've lost him. Oh, Ollie Peacock.
We're flicking. We've got so many. We've got cars everywhere. I don't know who to focus on. We've got Ross has just got past Marcus for P2. Is Ollie Peacock lifting? He is.
He is. Is he letting the position back because of the contact?
Yeah, he is.
That's good of him.
We've got side by side. No, we've got Damien through. Up into P4 from P9 on the grid. Fantastic racing. Good man.
And not too far off the front pack, to be honest, considering.
No, not at all. I mean, I take my cap off to Ollie Peacock for that. That is, as we always say, a win is a win in iRacing. But that is superb to see. So bravo to you, sir, and a credit to your team. Indeed.
Great sportsmanship from Ollie Peacock there, as Ross Balfour takes the victory in the TCRs, with Marcus Eichhorn in 3rd position and Ollie Peacock in 2nd. Damien Owen Harris of Evo SR takes 4th. A good comeback from him. Good fight back. Early. Oh! I think he just got taken out.
Oh my goodness!
These guys are not really too. They don't really care about the safety rating, clearly. That was a good race, Tom.
That was absolutely fantastic. That was some of the best racing, closest racing, fights for both leads, both podiums, until the last lap. I do want to, if I can, I'll let you sing. No.
Does it work? It doesn't work.
It gives me all the signals that it is. So I'll just go back to the race, and then that, and if I click on that, should then be able to run through the.
There we go.
The results, and I will find some replays for us.
It was Emmanuel Petri that got the victory from Thomas Petitjean, and I think only the. Well, one of the rare times that Petitjean doesn't win, but he still grabs a solid 2nd, 1.6 behind Emmanuel. Camilo Pezzoli takes 3rd, with Aurelian Fargo having one of the best races that we've seen from him, takes 4th position. Sasha Gole, we saw a bit of contact late on with Lucas Muller. They take 5th and 6th. Sander Bell takes 7th. Daniel Muth having a strong race in 8th position. Orlando Rodriguez takes 9th. In the TCRs, we had Ross Balfour and Ollie Peacock. Respect to Ollie Peacock for lifting on that final lap. Having seen only a couple of laps before that, they had contacted Ross and Ollie, but Ollie doing the right thing, and yeah, he takes second position. Mark Icon, quiet race from him, still an extremely solid third place from Damien Harris that we saw in the early parts of the race. He had quite a lot of contact, but he managed to get to fourth position from his starting position in ninth. Dickon Whitwood in fifth position, and Leo Miranda. Leo probably going to be disappointed with that. I think was running third, but we see him finish in sixth position. Tom, are we ready? We've got some.
I believe
to dive
we
into?
do. Let's just find. I believe we've got. That's not the replay I thought we were going to load up. This is the replay that we were going to load up. And this is going to be the action sequence that we saw Lucas dive down the inside of Sasha. They're then going to go side by side. Brilliant racing, it has to be said. And you're then going to have... So Sasha's going to get a better run off the corner. Yes, and we're going to head down to the chicane. And we know Sasha wanted to go round the outside to get the inside for the exit of the chicane and bridge.
We saw him do that, didn't we? Successfully a couple of times. So clearly wanted to do it again.
I'm just trying to see if I can get the best camera angle. And this is probably the best one. So, yeah, we've got Sasha around the outside, Lucas on the inside. You then got Aurelian trying to place the car in the best way possible to get the run on both of them.
I do think Lucas gave him space, if you look back at that. But I also do think netcode came into that.
I mean, it's hard racing that I would put that down as a racing incident.
Yeah.
If we go back to this section here, I mean, his car was always there. If we go back, so all through this, Sasha never has always got his car there. So at this point,
but if you look at the cars behind, they're taking the normal racing line, and Sasha really just take a hell of a lot of that apex.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is fine, you know.
Yeah, that's what I do think racing incident.
Yeah, and I do think Lucas gave enough space.
I mean,
but not too much.
This point, though, you would say that yes, Sasha has gone on probably off the track to try and make that. But would you say that Lucas has made him go there? So that, yeah, I would say racing incident there. So then you're going to have the inevitable contact. The teammates actually hit each other.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I saw that.
But that was all great racing. And then I believe if we go to the next lap, it hasn't actually appeared on my timing screen. Yes, it has. And here it is. So you're going to get the same move. Again, Sasha this time goes for the defense. Oh, no, Sasha made a mistake.
He went deep, yeah.
So makes the mistake, and then Aurelian gets the run. Sanders having a great time, but then this move round the outside into bridge. And this car, to balance the grip levels and the throttle, that is superb.
Gets the job done, doesn't he? It was he had the best race we've seen from him this series.
Yeah. That was brilliant. And that really, though, Mr. Salt, we don't need to revisit the TCR action, only because Ollie, as we've mentioned a couple of times, obviously gave the place back.
Indeed.
So, no harm there in terms of position stayed the same. We can.
Well, Tom, we've got some practice to do. And for anyone's watching, Tom, you set up a server on iRacing for the Nürburgring.
Yes, that
24-hour practice.
Yes, basically. Went live 10 minutes ago. It is an open session that is for 5 hours, starting at 5 a.m. in sim time. So for a sunrise practice session.
So
It'd
if
be
anyone
great
wants to
to.
join us, we'll be over there. If you don't, then we'll certainly see you next week. I always ask this question every week. I never know what the tracks are. One week I'll just know it off the top of my head, but I'm quickly having a look on the schedule now. Next week is it Mid-Ohio? Or am I looking
That makes.
somewhere completely different? It is Mid-Ohio next week. So we will see you then. Ronnie Balfour, great sportsmanship by Ollie Peacock. It was indeed Balfour. We saw that. We thought he'd actually run out of fuel. He hadn't. He was just doing the right thing. So hats off to him. But yeah, we are going to head off. We will see you next week at the same time, 7:20 p.m. UK time. For another round of the IMSA Michelin Pilot Challenge Series here on iRacing, here on Evo SR TV. Sorry. If you like what you see and you want to support the channel, do drop us a subscribe. Thank you for everyone that took part in the race as well. Thank you, Tom, as well, for your commentary alongside myself.
Thank you,
It's
Mr.
been a
Salt. Always a
pleasure.
pleasure.
Absolutely. But until then, we will see everyone next week and stay safe.